We are going to start off with matters by the public, and then we will go to the affordable housing grants after that. The first person for matters by the public is Mike Nichols. Is Mike here? And we have a 3-minute clock up there. If yes, sir.
Actually, I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'd like to present. It's about 2 minutes. But I also have a videotape of a newscast Channel 12 did. It's about
right. You can leave the videotape with us if you'd like, and then okay. We'll go ahead
make
and
it part of the record for you.
Thank you.
Do your
all right, let me do
matters
the
by the public.
He's been going around trying to clean up the signs where people keep sticking all these garbage signs out.
Okay. The reason I'm here, my name is Mike Nichols. I live at 1401 Woodcrest Road in West Palm Beach. I'm a realtor in Palm Beach County. And the reason I'm here today is to discuss the issue of snipe signs in the right-of-way in Palm Beach County. I understand that this has been in front of you before, about a year ago. And the course of action that you guys took was to have the adopt-a-road people administrate the laws. And basically, we have a big problem with these signs throughout the right-of-way. All different types of companies are out there advertising their services. In about a 4-hour period, I was able to pick up about 400 of these signs. That gives us a good indication of the effect that the Adopt-a-Road program has had on the problem. There are federal laws, there's state laws, and there's county ordinances that restrict the use of these signs. And they all have a common theme, basically to aesthetics and property values. I think the Village of Wellington has done a great job in resolving this problem, especially with the political signs. Wellington had 3 spots set up where they could display the political signs. They weren't all over the country. 4? Okay, but they weren't all over the streets. I think it was beautiful. Even the litter laws apply to these signs. The fact that we have so many laws regarding these signs and that there is absolutely no enforcement to speak of compared to the problem. We even have established business people using this method to advertise their services. Alpaca Ford, Furniture Forum. These aren't your insurance or roof repair or whatever companies. These are legitimate companies that have found that this is a cost-effective way for them to advertise their merchandise and products. The political signs are another problem as well. Most of the signs that were in the right-of-way are illegal. Absolutely nothing was done to enforce the law. Even on 95, and that's against federal, state, and local laws. And commercial establishments, I thought there was a square footage limit, and the fact that they can have 40 or 50 square foot or more of signs out here, I just don't understand why, if the laws are on the books, nobody's choosing to enforce them. Okay? That was out in front of her office. She refused to return any phone calls. I placed a phone call to every one of you, and most of you did respond. But it's a problem that absolutely needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Weissman, or did Terry Verner, you want to respond, or?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. Good afternoon. Mr. Nichols is correct. This issue was addressed by the Commission approximately a year ago. It's been addressed on several occasions. Prior to that, based on direction we received from the Commission, we set our priorities, and we explained to Mr. Nichols that illegal signs is not a high priority. We have life safety issues and things of that nature that must come first. We have a lot on our a lot of work on our plate. Signs have basically been, illegal signs have basically been something that the code officers will handle as they get to them. If they're driving by an area and they have some extra time, they'll stop and pull them. We pull anywhere from 500 to 1,000 signs a month, just out of normal course of operation, out of our routine daily work. Certainly, if the commission wants to change the priority level of the signs, we'll be more than happy to address that. Just a couple clarifications. The political sign issue, last year under the ULDC, political signs were allowed in the right-of-way under the county code. With the ULDC that we adopted effective January of this year, political signs were no longer allowed in the road right-of-way. So there was some confusion on the part of those perennial candidates. Secondly, with regards to political signs, we did notify each and every candidate that applied to run for office, notified them by letter, advising them the sign code regulations and requesting their cooperation in it. Obviously, we can't comment at this point because there are no signs left, but I would hope we've gone from year to year pretty much counting on the candidates' cooperation in that respect. But they have all been notified that signs in the road right-of-way now are no longer permitted, and the code officers have been directed to address those issues, especially in cases where it may be deemed to be a traffic issue.
What about the businesses like the car dealership that were advertising with signs like that? How do we address those?
We have looked at this, the methodology of trying to enforce this time and time again. We have found, and we have recommended to you on many occasions, the easiest, cleanest, simplest way to do it is allow the staff just to pick up and remove the signs and we can immediately take them to the dump and discard them. When you get into trying to assess fines, there's a reference in the state statute that you can assess costs.
So, but
well,
you have asked us before, and I guess we didn't to just take them and throw them away. When you know they're illegal, just pick them up, throw them in the trunk, and take them to...
Absolutely.
Okay. And did we say yes or no to that?
You said yes. Continue that in that manner.
So it's a manpower issue.
Yes.
Can we hire some college kids
If that's your direction, certainly we'll look into that.
and just go out and pick them up? You know, I think we ought to try to look at something like that if it's a manpower issue and, you know, there's some kids that want to make some money and we give them, you know, training about what they can and can't pull out and where, and give them certain areas of the town and just go do it.
Well, I will point out that the obstacle that's been the most frustrating for us is the liability issue. You can't hire somebody temporary that's not covered. Well, I shouldn't say you can't. There could be an issue with hiring somebody on a temporary basis, putting them in a potentially dangerous situation on Forest Hill and Military.
I'm thinking like a part-time as opposed to temporary.
We can certainly look into that.
And I'm thinking also the way they do it with the road cleanups. You know, they have people on the side of the road. I'm sure they have safety rules, but I think, you know, that might make sense to look at some of that. Are they allowed to put signs on, homemade signs on telephone poles?
No.
Okay, well, go drive down A1A on Richard Road.
Part of the problem with the telephone
And take
poles...
a hammer with you.
Yeah, I'm aware of the location you're talking about. Most of the problems we run into with the telephone poles is the height of the signs. As we got more and more proficient at removing them, the signs got higher and higher. So now we have to have Road and Bridges help with a cherry picker to go out and pull some of them.
Okay. Any...
Also, some of these roads are now in incorporated areas, not unincorporated areas, so it's a jurisdictional question with some of the cities.
Commissioner Aronson, then Commissioner Green, then Mazzalotti, then Coons.
Many of the signs that you have have telephone numbers. They have names of companies. According to state statute, we can't fine them, but we can charge them the cost to pick it up, correct?
Under state law, if it's a federal primary or state highway road, then yes, you can do that. Not under our code doesn't necessarily allow that.
But if we changed our code, that we could charge for picking it up, not fining, but every time you would have somebody go out, or we would hire somebody to go out on a part-time basis, we could then change our code to say we will charge whoever's sign is up that we could identify, and we will charge them for the time and effort to pick it up. And we could set, $20 an hour, $25 an hour, whatever it may be. Now, these people have telephone numbers, they have names of stores on it, they have all these things. I think they get the message a hell of a lot better if we go ahead and send them a bill and tell them they do it next time, another bill goes out, and we ought to figure out a way to put not a fine, because we're not allowed to fine, but the cost of picking up the signs. I think that's one of the things that this board does have the power to do. Now,
Commissioner,
We certainly can look into that, Commissioners.
Commissioner Green.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I apologize for being late.
I mean, it's nothing.
Okay. Is this in reference to the question I asked about trying to find everyone who put campaign signs out if they're left out at a certain time? This is something different, right?
Right.
to just general signs, including campaign signs. And because of you, I picked up all my signs.
I did too. And I was very proud to know the day after the election when the news reporters did this story about whose signs were not out just before the storm. But they did something that was kind of disappointing. They ran this story and was showing that, that all of these campaign signs are still here and a storm is approaching. That picture they had taken was taken the day before, because the day they showed that, those signs were not there, because I know of another person I had paid to take their signs up. But anyway, needless to say, it was still good. But I'm sitting here listening to this. To me, it would be easier. Why would we pay someone to mail a letter to someone to try to collect money from, and you know that, I'm looking at these signs here, or you just said, he has it at 10 feet, you come back the next day, he put it at 11 feet, you come back the next day 12 feet, and you're spending all this time spinning your wheels, mailing a letter to someone to try to collect money to find them for a campaign sign or whatever kind of sign. And let me ask you a question. If they do not respond, if they do not pay the fine, what are you going to do?
Call Mr. Wiseman.
I mean,
Okay.
that's
So,
Probably have to refer to OFMB
Well-
like we do traffic tickets and things like that.
but to me, it would, if I have a campaign sign down and I know I have to pay up front $500 or $1,000,
it's relight.
you already have the money. You don't have to worry about spinning your wheels now to go and collect it, because you're not going to get money. If I put stop foreclosure, you remove it, I'm going to put another one. I can put a fake name, a fake number, whatever. You're not going to collect money from me. But if you have made me pay up front, you already have the money.
Denise, did you want to make a comment?
Yeah, they're all great ideas, and you can have all the strongest laws on the books, but it's very difficult to prove who put the sign there, and lots of times you only have a phone number and a name of a business, and you can't even get an address.
No.
It's just a practical enforcement issue that I'm just trying to bring to their attention.
Okay, let's try to give some direction to the staff so we can move on, because we have quite a few people here. Commissioner Mazzalotti and then
Thank you,
Commissioner
Madam
Coons.
My question really is to staff, because I think these signs are inappropriate, and I think it's gotten to the point that it's beyond littering. It's disgusting with some of them. I drive in intersections, 441 in Okeechobee. It looks like a garbage dump nowadays. And there's volunteer organizations like the Rotary Club that spend time every month going out trying to pick things up. The day after they do it, these people go out and stick up. It's not just political signs. Political signs is maybe 2% of the problem that I see there. 98% of the problem are these little yard signs that are cheap to produce and easy to stick in the ground on little tin stands. But don't we have the ability, or is the ability available to, if we locate foreclosures, we buy your house and it has a phone number, does that in any way prove ownership?
We would just have a real difficult time to know who that person is and what address to even send us a notice
So can
to.
we go out and pass an ordinance that says if a firm benefits from the illegal signage, that they'd be responsible for the cost of removing?
We are then put in a position of establishing that they did in fact benefit from it. The fact that you've got that out there, how do you prove that someone actually called
But
the
then
phone
the
number?
easiest way to do it is just hire 2 more code enforcement officers whose only job is to go around and pick them up. And I'll say we do that. We're doing the budget tonight. Get rid of this stuff. Let's get it over with once and for all.
How about sanitation?
Okay, Commissioner
Thank you.
Coons?
Yeah, you know, we face the issue. I just thank you so much for your effort on this thing, and it gets frustrating to me too. We do face the issue of not being able to, you know, we can't prove they put them there. But I just think we ought to take a look at the finding mechanism. You know, the cost of removal system, and see if we can get some crews that would be very targeted, and then maybe we can figure out who they are and start sending them letters. We could generate a letter from the chair. You could sign 2 or 3 more letters a week, right? To these people. There were the big, I mean, it's, you know, and, you know, I'll stop by somebody's place and say, you know, I don't really appreciate you doing this, and I'm going to watch out for it, and I'm not going to say nice things about you.
It's like the flags on the auto dealers. It's just, you know, I think if we're going to do anything about this, we just hire a couple of folks
But then
to go out, and that's the only thing they do, and if we can use some college kids or something on a part-time basis, then
And I want you to know, we were delivering ice during the hurricane, and one of the code enforcement trucks was full of signs, but we had a dumpster, we dumped them. I mean, we took about 20 minutes to get all the signs out of the back of the truck, so we are doing it ad hoc. But I would like to see us begin to attack this and put some energy towards it, and then what we could do to be able to put people on notice that we're watching out for.
Okay, Commissioner Aronson and then Commissioner Green, and then we're going to go
Then
to
if
the
the
next.
commission wants to do it, then all we do is hire 2 people and spend about $150,000 a year with insurance and everything else, because that's what it's going to cost. And you go ahead and do it, and we keep the county as clean as possible. And I think the only way to do that is, what happens is, after people have their sign taken up once, and after they have their sign taken up twice, and after they have it the 3rd time. But this county is a tremendous county. 2 code enforcement people are not going to really make a dent going all over this county picking up those signs.
Thank you.
Targeted area.
So the fact is, the citizens also have a right today that they can pick up. These are illegal signs, and anybody wants to do cleanup, just like, you know, the beautiful Palm Beaches, Jeff, okay? Any citizen can pick up these signs. These are illegal signs, and they can pick it up, and we ask the citizens to help in their areas, in their neighborhoods, and then get 2 more code enforcement people and see whether or not we can clean it up. But when people put stuff up, as Terry said, and they put it up on telephone poles today, and they take enough time, you're not going to have a citizen going to take that out. You send code enforcement people out, they're going to have to have a cherry picker to get up there and do it. And, you know, this is the problem. But we can't do something about it, and it means adding another $125,000 to $150,000 to our budget.
Commissioner Green?
Madam Chair, I'll be very short. Say one more time. I don't think Palm Beach County is any different from Boca or Palm Beach. Palm Beach, you don't go stick a sign up anywhere. They know better. Boca, you don't stick a sign up anywhere. They know better because they've educated their people. In Palm Beach?
That's
what
what
she
she
said.
said. Yeah.
Because they know better. Because they did an educational advertisement, but they train their people, and by now their people know you don't do it. So why can't we do it in the county? It may take us a year to train them, and people will realize, okay, I cannot put this sign here without permission, or I can't put this sign here unless I call, or I can't put this sign here unless I pay a fine up front. I mean, a money up front. And you've eliminated this as you said, cherry picking, finding somebody to go around and pick up signs all day. It's not going to work.
Commissioner Green,
What?
I drive through Boca and Del Rey, and I see them in the city of Boca and in the city of Del Rey. They're not exempt. They put them there as well.
Okay, I'll go back. In Palm Beach. Wellington's the same? All you have to do is take 1 year out, take long enough to educate our people, and our county and cities will stop looking like
Well,
horse pastures.
I think part of the issue, though, is that it's a very big county and a lot of people to educate. So the best way and the quickest way to educate them is to take their sign out of the ground. And when they, as I think Bert said, after a couple of signs are gone, they'll get the message. And we can do something along the way, but
disagree, Madam
let us ask Terry and Verdine, or whoever, Bob, to bring us back a recommendation on how other counties or how Palm Beach does it, or how we can coordinate this and bring us back a recommendation.
Wellington is younger than Palm Beach County, and they did it.
Yeah, I'd like to try to see if we can figure out the cheapest way to get some bodies out there that, in safety, because I've seen some of these signs on poles in the middle of Southern Boulevard, and I don't know how you can get them up there.
Those are obviously not the ones, but the ones stuck in the ground from the auto dealers, stuff like that, that are easy to just, and light to easy to pick up, then I think that's what we're talking about. Code enforcement has to do the ones on Southern Boulevard on the poles in A1A.